Welcome to the Baller Alert Show podcast, available everywhere you get your podcasts. I go by the name of Ferrari Simmons.
Hey, young world, I'm your bestie, Sue Solo.
And you know BT, I'm in the building.
OCT, what that?
Ooh, special guest today in all red. How's it going, Mr. DJ Drama?
What's up, family? What's up, gang? How y'all feeling?
We appreciate you coming to our studio to interview with us.
Thanks for having me. You guys have an amazing, beautiful facility here.
Yeah, over here at Mean Street.
This is beautiful.
We actually get a lot of love for the studio. We have a wall of like great artists that come by. You should check it out.
I saw that.
We got a little basketball goal in the little side room.
I saw that too. That's dope.
We got offices. We got security. I mean, we kind of decked out. For those that don't get the inside joke, this is really his studio in Atlanta, Georgia. Okay, DJ Drama, Grammy Award winner. We are not only in the room of greatness, we are in a facility that hosts 1 million great people. You probably had 1 million amazing verses come out of the studio.
A lot of amazing stuff has come out of the studio. One being the BallerAlert podcast. You know, this room that we're in now actually was the first room that I built here. A little backstory, when I first built the studio, you know, I had went to Sirius XM and I was like, yo, like, maybe I should, you know, I was, at the time, myself, Green Lantern, Nina 9, Scream, we all had shows on Sirius, and I was like, you know, if I build a studio, will you guys partner with me, like maybe make like a Sirius XM South or something? And they were like, yeah, we're down to do that. So I went ahead and built this room right here and did it, and then I was like, hey, look, guys, I did it. And they were like, yeah, it's nice, but we don't really have any money. And I was like, damn. So I was like, you know, well, I can curse on here, right?
Yeah.
All right. I was like, well, fuck it. I'm going to keep on building. So, you know, we built the B room, which is next door and everything. And I kept going. And like when we would do our show in here, that's how I would introduce people to the studio. I was like, yo, FYI, like, you know, when people would come in as guests and everything, I would show them around and just kind of get them to, like, you know, try to do work or you know, use the studio. And then I was building. I had this beautiful building and nobody was really working out of it. And then one day I just called Metro Boomin and I was like, yo, bro, like, you know, I got the studio. I'm just give you some free time and what have you. And Metro came over here into the B room. And then, you know, he started working out of there. And this is around the time when Thug was really buzzing.
What year is this?
This is like 2013. Okay. I originally started building I bought the building 2011, really started building it out like 2012. And then like 2013, Metro came in, and then because the Metro came in, Thug, that was my first time meeting Thug. And Thug came in, and that was, you know, our first interaction. And he was like, this your studio? I like it. I like it. And, you know, then Thug started working out of here. And then, you know, around the same time, it was when I did my deal at Atlantic, and I came on as an A&R, and Kawan Prather, KP, was vice president at the time. Shout out to KP. And, you know, I was like, hey, by the way, you know, I'm building a studio in Atlanta. If you guys might want to partner with me. So they sent KP over here to check it out. And KP was like, yeah, it's dope. It's a great idea. So when I came on at Atlantic, you know, I got them. I started using their money and built out the rest of the building, you know, around the corner, the A side and the other room. And, you know, the back room actually wound up turning out to be like the Sunny Digital Metro Boomin room at a time when they did a deal. But, you know, like the room next door here, like...
Isn't that a photo shoot room?
The photo shoot room.
We had a photo shoot there before.
That was that room right there was the original room where I had, before we had all this equipment, I had all my stuff in there. I used to do radio and my mixtapes in there. I did True Religion in that room, 2 Chainz. It was the Dusty
Isn't it the
room.
anniversary?
It is actually.
Week?
It's the anniversary of True Religion, 11 years. I did. I think I did Dream Chasers, maybe 1 over there in that room, and this before everything was built. And then, you know, like when we first signed Uzi, he came down here. His first time meeting Thug was in there, and, you know, Uzi did the whole Love Is Rage in that B room. That was his room.
That's fire.
Nipsey, you know, the Nipsey Thug, rest in peace of Nipsey, the Nipsey and Thug records. Nip was working out of here. Playboy Cardi B did her whole album, Invasion of Privacy, a lot in this building. It's been some legendary stuff in here. I mean, you know, just the way the building is set up, like, you know, people will run into people in the kitchen area, and, like, you know, Gunna would just be in there chilling at before he was quote unquote Gunna. Bad and Bougie was made over there. It's been a lot. It's been a lot through this building. I mean, Mean Streets has become quite legendary and, you know, an Atlanta fixture, so I'm pretty proud of it.
As you are yourself, legendary.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
I want to take our time to give you your flowers. Your name is DJ Drama, man. Like, that's a household name as a DJ in a world where DJs tend to be local.
Yeah.
And they can be popping locally. I don't want to make it seem local is a bad thing.
Right.
But when a DJ is recognized nationally, that's a really big deal. And you, globally, that's such a big deal. So just want to take our time to give you your flowers. Are you ready? Because we going.
No, I'm here.
He got a Grammy, man.
I got all the Grammy,
bro.
I got all the time
where
in the
is
world.
it? I wanted you to bring it today.
You should have told me. I would have brought it.
Damn.
Definitely would have brought it. I just built this like.
You have a stand for it?
I got this glass case at the crib.
You drink out of it yet?
I did. I drunk out of it.
What'd you pour in it?
The first time I drunk out of it was on tour when I first got it. I drunk. I think I took a shot at Casamigos. That was when I was on the Wiz tour this summer.
Fire.
In front of like the whole crowd. I drunk out of it, and then like when we dropped Snowfall. Me and Jeezy were on live, and you know when we played the song Grammy, I took a shot out of it on live when I was in my little trophy room.
Well, before the Grammy, I just want to take it back. I want to go back to Philly. How was hip hop growing up in hip hop at that time in Philly? You know, before Atlanta, before college, and all that.
It was great. Ironically enough, I just ran into Omar Epps last week, and you know he's like one of my biggest inspirations for being a DJ.
Really?
And, yeah, off the movie Juice. You know,
okay.
I went to go see Juice when I was about to go to high school. I guess summer between 8th grade and 9th grade, and you know before I was big, before I became a DJ, I was really into skateboarding, but I was trash. And like in Philly at the time, there was like this little scene of like black skateboarders that used to kind of congregate downtown in this spot called Love Park. I'm not if y'all familiar with Stevie Williams, but you know he started DGK, super internationally known. You know, I grew up. Me and Stevie came up together and everything. So out of all the young black skateboarders, I was like the worst. So I was trash. Thankfully, so when I saw Juice, I was like, man, that might be something I want to do, like, you know, as a hobby. So I started DJing, and I came up, you know, like in Philly, I literally watched the Roots, like kind of, that was my first example of like watching somebody really get on and like make it in the music business. Like I watched them go from like local talent to getting their record deal to turning on Rap City, Yo MTV Raps, and seeing Distortion the Static video to, you know, going to their album release or signing party where, you know, they were on tour with the Fugees and opening up, and, you know, like Questlove, I used to run into him just like downtown playing video games, or Black Thought used to, and Malik B, rest in peace, used to like do freestyles for me on my little mixtapes and everything. So yeah, I mean, Philly had a nice little buzzing hip hop scene. Another person that really put me on was this female artist named Bahamadia, who was actually like my next door neighbor to where my dad lived in West Philly. And she was signed to Guru from Gangstar. And, you know, she kind of took me under her wing early on and used to take me like to New York and go to like, you know, little industry parties and everything. So before I came to college, I was making a little local name for myself, and I was making like little local mixtapes in Philly and everything.
As DJ Drama?
I was going to say, as DJ Drama?
Yep. I got that name. I think I was like 15, 16.
Where did it come from?
So I had these two friends. I used to work for this organization that did it was called Reconstruction, and it was like an outreach program for
bad kids,
not for young black men who were coming out of prison and looking to, you know, get back into society and what have you. And so I was doing like, you know, kind of like internship type work for that organization. I had these two homeboys that worked with me there, and one was named Hakeem and one was named Bakari. Hakeem was like the biggest Tupac fan ever. I just always remember that. He was super Tupac fan. And Bakari was from Senegal, so his name was Bakari Dramé. And he used to like sell like mixtapes and incense and like, you know, dabble a little bit in DJing. He used to sell stuff on like Broad and Girard in Philly. So Hakeem used to always call Bakari DJ Drama, because his last name was Drame. And I was like, damn, that shit sounds like, that's a fire name. And at the time, I didn't really have a DJ name. And Bakari wasn't like he wasn't like taking his DJ shit that seriously.
He was like, you can have the name.
I asked him, I was like, yo, what you doing with that? You using it? He was like, nah, you can have it. So he gave me, he handed me over the name DJ Drama.
That's what's
That's
up.
how I got the name.
I want to ask about how you feel now. You got a Grammy. How do you, like, does that change? Feels great.
Hey! Come say hi, Cannon. Come on, say hi, bro.
The GOAT. Hello.
Hello.
The GOAT.
Well, speaking of Don Cannon, CAU where y'all met, right?
We met at CAU. So I met Cannon my sophomore year. He was this tall, lanky kid that just came on
Did
campus.
he play basketball?
He did. He played basketball in high school.
Everybody tall,
But not in
can't
college?
ball, okay,
He
Y'all-
is
y'all didn't
too
just learn
tall.
that.
Nah, he didn't
Everybody
play-
tall,
Cannon's
can't
got to be
ball.
6'8", 6'9".
He's I think is Cannon
No homo.
6'6", 6'7"? He might be.
Tall.
He
He's
might,
one of the
he might be
tallest
6'8".
DJs I've
Yeah.
ever met.
So Cannon used to like kind of try to like befriend me on campus and everything. And I had this other homeboy, Kyle, and they went to high school together. So Kyle had kind of put in my head that Cannon was a nut, right? Like
In what way?
he was like
Crazy?
He was like just like that's Philly slang. Like he's a nutball. Like
Okay, got it.
so Cannon used to, I had a little rep on campus already, like by, after my freshman year. Me and Sense used to do all the parties and everything together. So finally one day Cannon was like, yo, I want to give you my beat CD. And he gave me his beat CD and I went home and that shit was fire. Like he was like baby premiere.
Wow.
And the next day I was like, yo, your shit is hot, bro. And like, we should be friends. You know what I'm saying? So,
You know,
and then, after that, we just, we were inseparable. I mean, it's literally been 20, I don't want to age myself too much, but, 2 decades plus that, we've been friends and partners, business partners.
That's
and working
amazing.
together and everything. But yeah, we literally met on CAU campus.
And I don't think everybody knew that you went to CAU.
Atlanta.
Yeah, I went to Clark, Atlanta. I mean, that was what got me. That's why I came to Atlanta. Like,
Right.
I came to Atlanta to attend Clark, and like the way when I was in Philly, I always thought I was gonna wind up in New York. Living in Brooklyn, like on the brownstone, but I came down to visit Atlanta a couple times with my pop, and I just love the culture. Like, anybody that comes down here, you can see like it's just a place of. As we call it now, Wakanda, but it was just like you can feel the vibrant energy of,
Especially
like,
in the 90s.
Oh, it was amazing in the 90s. Like, just young people of color everywhere, just into everything, and
Freaknik.
it was the place to be. And I came at the very tail end of Freaknik, and even like the first Freaknik. So I came in 96, and so they say that like the last Freaknik was literally like 97, and in 97 for Freaknik, instead of me like. I've always been a hustler, so like I bought a bunch of T-shirts wholesale, and during Freaknik I was hustling T-shirts, so everybody used to know me as like Hustle Man, even back in the day.
Come on, Hustle Man.
Yeah.
So you come to Atlanta already established as DJ Drama. Mm-hmm. You're doing the mixtapes, and we know that there's probably a lot of like Philly sound, some New York sound, but I feel like the South was still trying to figure out like what is our staple sound. How did you find yourself in the mix of Atlanta music? Because we are a bubble,
Right?
Really,
Absolutely.
We accept what we want to accept,
Right. So I mean, thankfully enough, me coming down here and me coming to school, because I was very, very East Coast stubborn in a lot of ways. I had always been a big Outkast fan for sure. Like even before I got here, but going to school in the AUC. You have kids from everywhere, like all over the country, and everybody wants to be pleased, especially at college parties. Like DC niggas want to hear go-go, Florida wanted to hear Bass at the Time, West Coast niggas wanted to hear West Coast shit, Texas wanted to hear they shit, like Louisiana wanted to hear they shit, like New York, tri-state, everybody wanted to hear their shit. So it trained me how to be very well-rounded as a DJ in that sense. And then, but I still was kind of like, I still had my backpacker roots too. So, there used to be this thing called Lyricist Lounge, and like, my roommate at the time was best friends with Talib Kweli. So I came up like, hanging out with Black Star when they would come to Atlanta. So I was, I was kind of like a Renaissance man in a lot of ways. So then when I started doing mixtapes, or when I got back into mixtapes when I was in school, I would set up on campus and, literally sell my own tapes and then turn into CDs. So I would have like an East Coast tape, a reggae tape, a neo soul tape. And then when I finally did a South tape, like that shit just took off like hotcakes. And, I remember like my first South tape ever, the first song on there was like Bling Bling. So this had to be like about 98, 99, around the Cash Money era run. Mm-hmm. And when I got to Atlanta, it was in the midst of the Big Oomp dominance. So shout to Jelly, Monte, like Big Oomp, when it came to the mix tapes and mix CDs, they ran the South and they ran Atlanta. Like that was it. Like Big Oomp was everywhere. They had their own stores.
Yeah, I remember that.
And that was literally like that was the sound of the mixtape scene in Atlanta. So just to fast forward a little bit, when I started Gangsta Grills, and like I remember people telling me like, yo, if you do a South mixtape, like, they don't want to hear people talk on there, or they don't want to hear new music or no freestyles or none of that shit. Like, and because they were kind of used to a certain sound just based off what people were doing. And even at the time, like, Camp and them, they didn't really have like covers, or they would just like have their CDs with the number, whatever number CD it was and what have you. And then I kind of just went against the grain, like, of what people were telling me niggas in the South wanted to hear, and I really like applied like a up north formula to Southern music. So I was, at the time, like, having a host was something that was popular up north on the East Coast. So, I got Little John the host. That's how the Gangsta Grill drop was born. And then I started just like kind of talking on the tapes. And I was like getting like, local artists, local at the time, niggas like Tip and, David Banner and Killer Mike to like do freestyles and stuff. And, and I was putting a lot of effort into the covers and things of that nature. And the shit just took off, And so basically, like, me going against the grain of what people told me niggas wanted to hear, and me, trying something different, it worked. And at the time, nobody in Atlanta or in the South were making tapes like what Gangsta Grills was, and the shit took off.
Okay, wait. So my big dog Jeezy was on Drink Champs earlier, and he said you didn't want to do his mixtapes. You said he wasn't hot enough. Now, you are on the BallerAlert Show podcast. Do you have a rebuttal, sir, or is this an accurate story?
It's not all the way accurate. That's not what happened. So the part that's true was he definitely I used to make show CDs for him, and I did make him
for $100.
For $100,
you charged him $100.
$100
per show CD.
Per show CD, yeah, $100. Nigga was driving a Lambo. It was nothing to him.
Right, he had money now.
Yeah, I was living in a fucking 4 in a duplex, which is still there.
Did you make him take his shoes off?
I did make him take his shoes off.
So that part of the story is true.
Absolutely,
you made him take his shoes off.
I made him take his shoes.
To your place.
I made him take his shoes off to come into my humble abode in the 4-4, and I would make show CDs for him and everything. But the part about me turning him down to do a tape, that's not true. What really happened was I was making Gangsta Grills, and I was getting some buzz to it, and then I had did a party. Shout out to Cloud9 and Biddy.
What up, Biddy?
We did a Gangsta Grills party in Buckhead at the time, and that was my first Gangsta Grills party. I had Tip hosting. I think Bone Crusher was there. I think Fab was there. Who else was there? Maybe Scrappy. Yeah. So, and Jeezy was there in the cut. He wasn't Jeezy the superstar rapper yet. So Coach and Jeezy told me they wanted to take me to lunch and have a meeting. So we went to Harry and Sons and we sat down. And Jeezy told me like, yo, I was at your party. I don't know if you know, but the streets really fuck with you. Like, and I was like, oh, word? Like, and I was in the streets like doing mixtapes, but I wasn't in the streets. So he was telling me the streets fuck with me. So he was like, look, I got this idea, like, you know, I got this vision to do this project. And Jeezy was the first person to ever pay me to do like a Gangsta Grills.
Wow.
So they gave me $1,000. That was the first time I got paid to do a Gangsta Grills. And, you know, but I was like, he told me, he said, I got a vision. This is what my movement is. And, you know, originally the tape was called G's Up. Before it was called Streets is Watching, but Scrappy's crew was called G's Up, so we wound up changing the name of it to Streets is Watching. But at the time, you know, I was like, all right, whatever, you know, he's trying to pay me for a mixtape. I'm cool with it, you know. And then I went and did the tape, and then, you know, my man rolled up on me on Glen Iris, Glen Iris, when I was on Glen Iris. After I did Streets is Watching, and he was like, yo, the Jeezy tape, that's the best Gangsta Grills ever. And I was like, what? Like the new nigga? And you know, like I had just did like a T.I. tape, and I'm like, huh?
And you were never paid for like T.I.'s tape?
Nah, I never got paid for nothing before that. I was just doing tapes. Like, you know, I was selling them, but nobody ever paid me to do just like their tape. And then, you know, next thing you know, fucking Streets is Watching is the hottest thing in the Southeast. You can't go nowhere without hearing that music, and you had to hear me all over it because that was the only place it existed, was on that Gangsta, you know, on that platform. So yeah, the part about me telling him, nah, you're not hot enough, he fabricated that a little, but
it was like 90% of true.
I'd say 75. I give him a good 70.
So listen, I got a question. So, do you feel like DJ Khaled is ducking the smoke?
DJ Khaled?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is he ducking the smoke? I don't know. I mean,
because you've been calling him out.
I ain't been calling him out. I've been calling anybody out. Like, I'm just not you know. I guess the difference in the interviews is that in the interviews that I've done, you know, his name comes up. So I guess the difference needs to be, you know, whenever he gets on a platform, you know, someone specifically needs to bring my name up. You feel what I'm saying? So, you know, I don't know. Like, you know, I mean, I don't know if my name came up in Drink Champs, you know, when Nori did the interview. I don't know. We have to ask Nori. But, you know, in the interviews that I've done, obviously his name has came up, and I've said that I'm with all the smoke. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I think that I've already answered it. You know what I mean? I think that's more of a question for him. Someone needs to bring my name up, and, you know, and it's all love. I think at the end of the day, like, it'd be great for the culture. You know what I'm saying? To see DJs on our level, like, you know, as we know, versus to be a celebration. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and it's all, you know, hip hop is a very competitive sport.
Got to be in Atlanta though.
I don't care where it is. Like, I'm coming to ball. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like I have an extreme catalog. You know, as does Khaled. You know what I'm saying? So, I think it'll be a great time. You know what I mean? So, I'm with all the fun, and I'm with all the smoke. So we can go whatever way with it. You know what I mean? I'm ready to bust anybody's ass.
I know that's right. There are so many people that just don't understand why mixtapes were so big and so important in 2000. And for those of you that don't know, you didn't really need clearance. Like, you could literally
it was like the Wild Wild West.
Yeah, it was a free for all, and that's what made mixtapes so great, because you did not have to go through the legalities of getting this cleared or not.
Right.
And it was great until the cops came.
Yeah.
Bootlegging was crazy back then.
It was crazy.
Why were they on you as hard as they were?
I mean, you know, I was the top of the food chain. Like, you know, I was like, when I was the mixtape king, like, yeah, it was, you know, I was, when you watch the footage and they came and confiscated 50, 60, 70, 80,000 CDs, like, you know, we was getting to it, you know what I'm saying? So, I don't know why they were on me so hard, because at the time, like, I was working directly with the artist. Like, I wasn't a bootlegger, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't like I was stealing niggas' music and putting it out, or, you know.
But the labels couldn't control it. They couldn't eat off of it.
Exactly. So. And the labels weren't all the way in cahoots. So, like, the promotions department, and, you know, the marketing department, I was, you know, they heralded me, but, you know, the legal department or the other side probably didn't understand, like, why are we giving this guy this music or allowing our artists to, you know, use his platform and put these CDs out that are not, you know, sanctioned by us? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I think it was just at a time in a space where the music industry was going through a lot of hits, and, you know, they were watching like their bottom dollar kind of not making sense, and, you know, they came after me, you know what I mean? And yeah, it was a crazy time, you know. It was the day the game changed, you know, the mixtape game. And I was like, you know, for me, like, because growing up such a fan of mixtapes and mixtape culture, like, you know, I felt a lot of guilt at first. Like, damn, I can't watch this culture like die on my shoulders that I grew up loving so much, and then I become, you know, that guy, and then here they try to, you know, destroy it or take it down while I'm in control. So. But yeah, I mean, you know, and it was crazy is like, if you watch the reports, they, you know, when they go on the news, the cop says, normally in these situations we find guns and drugs. This circumstance we didn't. Like, thankfully they came on like a Monday morning, like we had just got back from MLK weekend. They didn't find one spliff, one handgun, no nothing, just CDs, you know. So they tried to make it out, obviously, you know, the criminalization of hip hop, and like, you know, I don't know if they thought they was going to really like come bust some big ass, you know, crime organization, like, because, you know, they really hit me with the RICO, like, you know, some real shit, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, what? I'm making mixtapes. Yeah, I'm a fucking DJ. Like, what are y'all talking about?
They couldn't monetize it. I do have a question. We never really, I don't know, I haven't seen anyone ask you this question. The affiliates.
Okay.
I always wanted an affiliate chain, because I remember I was around at the time, and I was like, damn, that was actually one of the reasons why I started doing mixtapes.
Wow.
Watching you have a crew. And I remember I was at Compound. I wasn't supposed to be there. I was.
How old were you?
I had to be 18.
Crazy.
And I saw all these affiliate chains in the building. Then I saw you walk past me. I was like, oh shit, that's DJ Drama. And I just seen everybody in these affiliate chains. Where did that name come from? And like, I want to talk about that era, because that was a nice little era in the pocket you was in.
Right.
On that affiliate, they were colorful and long.
Yeah.
That was the long chain.
Yep. Pause.
Pause. Yeah.
So basically, it was actually after the CAU days. We were out of school, and at the time, we were part of a crew called the Super Friends, which was, you know, shout to DJ Mars, DJ Trauma, DJ Doc, Cowboy, Tay-Rock,
Cowboy,
Fahrenheit. Yeah, it was and they were like older than us, so they were like, you know, they were pretty much the go-to DJs in Atlanta, you know. And you know, Mars and Trauma were like, kind of, Ken, in a sense, kind of like looked up to them in a lot of ways. You know, they were like somewhat mentors in a sense, and what have you. And they made us part of the Super Friends. So we became like kind of the youngest members of the Super Friends, and we were, you know, Super Friends were on fire in Atlanta. Like, I guess from like, you know, good 01 to, you know, those years, formidable years before the affiliates came along. So at the time, we were having some differences with them, and the main fallout in my version of the story was that basically Jacob York offered the Super Friends an opportunity to do an album, and he was gonna give them like 50 grand or something to like do a Super Friends album. And I remember we used to have meetings and everything. So then when they came to the table, they were like, all right, well, if we do an album, we should call it Gangsta Grills, because that's like the hottest brand, you know. But they were like really party, like very focused on parties, and we were focused on mixtapes. And you know, at the time, they like kind of told us like, yo, like, Jelly, Monte, Camp, like they got the mixtape shit. Like when it comes to like getting sponsorships and everything, we need to use this money towards parties. So we were kind of like, damn, we can't get no money to sponsor our mixtapes because all the money was going to the parties. So I didn't really want to use Gangsta Grillz as the title for the album because I was, you know, feeling somewhat indifferent at the time. And they pretty much kicked me out. They were like, well, if we can't use Gangsta Grillz, you know, for the title, like, you know, they told me don't come to the bowling party the next week.
Why'd you feel like that? Is it because that was yours? I was having some issues with the management at the time. Okay.
No, just the management of the Super Friends. Like I just was kind of, you know, we weren't seeing eye to eye, and I just was like, yo, Gangsta Grillz was my baby.
Right.
Like I didn't want the Super Friends album to be the Gangsta Grillz album.
Okay.
So yeah, so they pretty much like, you know, kind of kicked me out, and then, you know, Sense and Cannon, you know, those being my brothers, you know, they were like, yo, if Drum goes, we go. So we left. We had this other friend of ours that I've known literally since like 6th grade. His name is Ace McLeod. He's from Philly too. And he was pretty much like, man, fuck that shit. We don't need them. Like, let's do our own shit. Like, we can start our own group. And he came up with the Affiliates. And the A was for Atlanta, and Affiliates, we spelled it, for PHILL was.
Who did that
Philly.
drop? Affiliates, nigga.
That was Tip. Tip did that. Okay. So we started. So because we left the Super Friends, we started the Affiliates. And interestingly enough, there was this little magazine that was coming to do a story on us being the Super Friends, and we told them like, yo, we're not Super Friends no more. Like we started this new group, and they were like, oh, all right, well, cool, we'll put y'all on the cover as the Affiliates. Wow. So you know, like next thing you know, it was like the Affiliates were like, you know, the new kids on the block, you know, and Gangsta Grillz was heating up, and you know what I'm saying, and you know, Super Friends and Affiliates, we went, you know, we had little competitive back and forths and all types of, you know, little things here and there, which again, this is 20 years ago. So we're all homies now to this day. Like, but I mean, yeah, that was literally how we came up with the Affiliates, because we wound up leaving the Super Friends and starting our own shit. And then, you know, around that time, and it was tough. I just said on, when I said on Seti's tape, like, yo, it was literally around that time I was like, going broke, and I almost moved back to Philly. Wow. Because I was like, you know,
wow, Gangsta Grillz is lit.
Gangsta Grillz was just getting lit. Okay. But I wasn't seeing no real money. Like I was, you know, like the bootleggers was making way more money off Gangsta Grillz than I was. Right. I was just breaking even type shit, you know, just making them. But Gangsta Grillz was still a thing, but I was like, yo, I'm not, you know, this. Yeah, I couldn't. It wasn't enough to really cover the bills, and I almost went home, and then you know, one thing led to another. The Affiliates started, and then Gangsta Grillz just like took off.
I feel like with you, DJ Sense, Don Cannon, I think what you guys were able to accomplish is so amazing. It kind of reminds me of like Biggs and Dame, how they stuck together and got their stuff together. And I just think that is just amazing. I think your story is amazing. And will you have like a documentary later on or anything like that?
I'm working on it. I've had numerous production companies and numerous people come to me about telling my story and the documentary. So I'm actually in the process of doing it now, just trying to do it accurately and tell the right story. And there's a couple of different stories to be told, but I'm definitely working on it. But there's like, so there's a NPR, there's a Tiny Desk podcast that kind of tells somewhat of my story, but a lot of the focus is about the raid. And then like, you know, like Hip Hop Evolutions did an episode on this on Netflix. So there's different pieces here and there, but like at some point I'm definitely going to tell like the DJ Drama Gangsta Grillz story for sure. And then, you know, like you said, like, you know, just myself and Cannon and Sense and even Lake Show, like, you know, we all know each other since college, you know what I mean? And like we say, like, we're a prime example that friends and business can mix, you know what I mean? Like we've literally been friends for 20 plus years and been in business for, you know, just that amount of time in so many ways. And like, we know each other's strengths, we know each other's weaknesses, we crack jokes about each other all day. Like, you know, we have internal arguments and, you know, don't always see eye to eye. At some, you know, there was a time and space where me and Cannon had fell out and then we came back together. But yeah, I mean, similar to the origins of Rockefeller, like us coming up together, like that definitely is a dope story that I think needs to be told.
For sure.
Do you feel like a new sense of energy around your career
Absolutely.
and legacy? Because I don't know if it's just me, but noticing like Usher and like all these people that have had amazing careers are like really getting their flowers. Usher's on a whole run, making a whole new bag off of old songs.
Right.
What do you think this is? Do you think the hip hop community is just getting better about giving flowers? Are we just paying more attention to our leaders? What do you think this new energy is?
I think everything just comes full circle, or has this moment of nostalgia. So I think that I'm in a space of after there's an era of that like literally grew up on me. You know what I'm saying? There's an era that came up with me, and there's an era that grew up on me. Like one of those being Tyler, for an example. So for him, it was always a dream of his to have a Gangsta Grills, or how influential Gangsta Grills was to him, like the Pharrell tape or the Wayne tapes and everything. So for him to make his album into a Gangsta Grills album, and then for us to go ahead and it be this amazing body of work, and then the space that I'm in right now, like I know I feel an energy, just myself, with what I've done and accomplished. And for me, it was like, even when I first got on, like I was like, all right, like and I felt like it took me like a good, like I started DJing in 92. I feel like I got on maybe like 04, 05. Like, so that was like 12 years of like grinding it out, you know what I'm saying? And it was like, all right, now that I got here, like, how do you stay here? Like, how do you stay relevant? You know what I'm saying? So to be in 2022 after, 30 years of DJing, or after like, after really making a name for myself in 05, and to be like, probably like, we talked about this last week, like having one of the hottest moments of my career, like is a real testament, you know what I'm saying? So, it's like on top of all the legacy of what I've already accomplished, and then to go ahead after the affiliates and Gangsta Grills, and then to start Generation Now, and then to be part of the success of Uzi's career and Jack Harlow, and and now this resurgence of Gangsta Grills, it's like it's a whole new life. I mean,
you're on your way to a Lifetime Achievement Award.
One day, I still got a lot to accomplish. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm loving it. I'm 44 years old, and even just being on like I said, like I went on tour with Wiz and Logic this summer, and when I walk out and do my first set, these kids are literally like chanting my name.
Period.
I'm like, these are like 18, 19, 20-year-old kids, and and then my first set, I'm playing Tyler, and I'm playing Stick off the Dreamville tape and everything, and or my 16-year-old daughter showing me text messages of her friends like hype off the NBA YoungBoy Gangsta Grills, you know what I mean? So it's a great space to be in, and it just, again, it's a testament of how much like I love the music, I love the culture, like I love what I do, you know what I mean? Like, doesn't matter if I was making no money or 8 figures, 9 figures, like I love hip hop, like to its very core and its essence, and it was always a point for me to show how invested into the culture I am and have been my whole life.
It's the legendary DJ Drama on the BallerAlert show.
Yeah.
I got a question. So I just want to go back to Jeezy real quick.
Okay.
After he paid you for that, did you get paid for the Wayne tape next, or were they paying you afterwards?
So I didn't get paid for Wayne tape. So Wayne, after I did Jeezy Streets Is Watching, and then that popped, and then we did Trap or Die, and then I didn't get paid for Trap or Die. I don't think I got paid for Trap or Die.
You get paid from Trap or Die?
Well, I made money off of Trap or Die.
Oh, gotcha.
But by that point, we had already like made
that Trap or Die was crazy.
Yeah, we was. Oh no! I made it.
When did dedication come?
So basically, after I did Trap or Die, I was like, damn, what the fuck I'm gonna do next? Like, how am I gonna top this?
Boy, did
dedication.
You come
and then
with a
dedication 1, 2. How many is it now?
There's 7 dedications, because there's a 6 and there's a 6.5. So there's
2 is my favorite.
Yeah, 2's my favorite too. 2 is incredible. So I was, the dedication series the first dedication came right after Trap or Die, like literally dropped within months of each other. Okay. But so I didn't charge Wayne for a tape, but then there were artists like Yo Gotti paid me for a tape.
So you're charging at this particular moment?
So I started charging, like people started paying me for Gangsta Grills after that.
I was probably paying a lot.
All right, so legally, can you say?
You mean the numbers?
Like, what's the number?
Yeah, he was about to say it. He was about to say it.
I think Gotti, me and Gotti's first tape, I think Gotti gave me like $6,500.
Okay.
So that was early on. And then like the numbers went to like
tens.
They went to 10s. They went to 15s. They went to 20s.
It's hot.
You just coming in here talking some shit.
They went to 25s.
Oh!
But the number now,
crazy.
All right, so what about Snowfall?
So how much is it for Snowfall?
What's the number now?
What's the number now, sir?
The numbers now.
Yesterday's price is not today's price.
Snowfall, how did that happen? Because that's my guy. You're my guy.
Yeah.
How did this conversation happen?
So
because it happened without me, and I'm perplexed.
Oh my God.
I'm perplexed because I talked to both of y'all, and I'm over here like, wait.
It's been in discussions for like over a year now that we've been planning this. It really started between Cannon and Jeezy.
Okay.
They had gotten back in. Cannon came up with the title, and they were working on the music together and everything. And they brought me in about a year ago, and was just like, yo, I think it's time. Like, let's make it a Gangsta Grills. And I was like, it's been time. So then, we went through a little tweaks here and there over the last maybe 6-7 months. And then we got back in a couple months ago and just really like buckled down and got on the project. And like, it's like shit feels like 05, 06 again. And it's just amazing timing, you know what I'm saying? That, it came out just, when it came out. And
it's fire.
And it's fire. I'm glad it was fire.
Shit's crazy.
How'd you link up with NBA Youngboy?
That's the young nigga crowd.
Yo, that nigga just...
But Youngboy don't fuck with nobody.
Facts.
Man.
He don't fuck with nobody.
My nigga, shout to Fee. I known Fee forever, from the Young Money days. Mm-hmm. And Fee just randomly hit me and was like, yo, Youngboy, YB want to holler at you.
That's crazy.
So we got on the phone, and he was just like, he talks in a very like calm way and everything. And he just was like, yo, I got this new tape. I want you to do it. And I was like, bet. I was like, damn, I got like 2 other tapes coming out.
Because you did one with Snoop?
I did one with Snoop, and I did Jeezy, and then I literally got the call like the week of, and I was like, fuck it. It's about to be Gangsta Grill season. So people knew that the Jeezy and the Snoop tape were dropping. And nobody knew about the Youngboy, and I was like,
I was shocked when that came out.
I'm about to fuck these niggas up. Like, niggas gonna be like, hold on, wait, Trom just won a Grammy. Trom just got DJ of the Year, and this thing is dropping 3 Gangsta Grill. Nah, this is not fair. Like,
okay,
this is getting unfair.
You know what else is not fair, sir? We have a game. We have a game. It's called Baller Blitz.
I like
games. Tailored to you.
Okay.
OCT, are you ready?
I'm ready. All right. We usually get the youngins with this one because they don't know nothing about the old school. But for you, we got the legendary DJ Drama.
Okay.
We're gonna dig in the crates a little bit. I'm gonna do 5 songs. Radio, whatever. Everybody hear them all the time. You gonna let me know what sample is sampled out of the song.
Oh shit! All right.
First up, Beyonce, "Break My Soul." What is the sample?
Isn't it Robin S? It's Robin S.
Okay.
I forget the name
Show
of the
Me
song.
Love.
Show Me Love, yeah.
I'll take Robin S. All right, cool, cool. All right, yeah.
Check mark, okay.
All right. Second, we got Burna Boy, Last.
That's a sample?
Mm-hmm. He gave.
I didn't know that was a sample.
Oh yeah, he gave her the publishing, I believe, too, right?
How much is? Here's a clue. Anita Baker.
Last name rhymes with Laxton.
Oh, Tony Braxton?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Man Enough for Me.
Oh, it's Man Enough for Me. Oh, yeah, you're right. That is that.
Damn,
Okay.
I didn't even know that.
All right, it's all good.
I didn't know that.
Here you go. Here you go. For the third one, Jack Harlow, First Class.
I wonder what that is. Fergalicious. Shout to Fergie on that one. Yeah. Shout to Polo the Don on that one, and shout to Will I Am on that one.
I thought that was Glamorous Life.
It was Glamorous Life.
Okay.
I'm just saying Fergalicious.
Fergalicious. Okay, I got you.
No,
I
it's
got you.
Glamorous. It's Glamorous
Yeah.
Life. Yeah, I was
All right.
just saying her name.
The fourth
Sorry,
song
I didn't know
we got.
I had to correct that. I thought that was an easy one.
You know, I just threw that one in there. That was an easy one. All right. Fourth, we got Megan Thee Stallion, Plan B.
Plan B. That's Freaking You, Jodeci, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Last one, maybe a tough one.
Okay.
Drake, Jimmy Cooks.
Damn, I don't know that one.
I don't know that one either.
I don't know that one.
That is You Were Gone by Brooke Benton,
Oh, you got one, I got-
1976.
Oh, you got me.
Damn.
I didn't know that one.
That was
I'll
Digging
give-
in the Crates
all right.
with the legendary DJ Drama.
I'm 4 for 5, right?
Yeah.
I'm 3.5. I'm 3.5. Yeah, you gave me the Tony Braxton.
We'll give him some snaps on that.
Yes.
Okay. Message. It is time for Baller Mail.
Oh.
Okay.
Dear BallerAlert Show, I've been married for 12 years. Beautiful kids, beautiful wife. I absolutely love her and adore her, but I believe she is cheating on me. She texted me by accident last weekend and said that was the greatest sex ever. And her and I haven't had sex in over 2 weeks.
Oh.
I replied to that text and she wrote that she was talking about a sex scene on P-Valley in her female group chat. She refused to send a screenshot to the conversation thread. What do you guys think?
At 12 years?
12 years,
Married.
beautiful kids, beautiful wife. I adore her and I love her.
I adore her so much. I haven't had sex with her in 2 weeks.
I mean, that's not bad, though. 2 weeks? Like, for married couples after 12 years? Like, I thought you was going to say, like, a year or, like, 6 months. Like, I know people that's married that don't have a lot of sex. So,
Nothing, 2 weeks?
well, have you ever been married?
No, but damn.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
I'm married, but not that long.
Yeah, 12 years.
How
is a
often do you have
long-ass
sex?
time.
If you don't
We have
mind.
sex about twice a week.
Okay. How long you been married?
Year.
I mean, you know, they say as the time, you know, everybody's different, but as the time goes, like, you know, when you get married, it's a lot of other things. You got to have kids, like, you know, the kids are there, like, you know, sex is not always at the forefront. I mean, it's a very important thing, and Rasul looking at like, man, fuck that. Like,
Wait, are you saying that she's not cheating on him?
No. I'm not saying she's not cheating
No,
on
he's
him.
just saying that 2 weeks.
What
of
I'm
marriage
saying is
not long.
the fact that it's only been 2 weeks, like, you know, I mean, first he should address her, you know, and you know, now if she continues to lie on it, it might be time to hang it up. But you know, if she admits to it, you know, things happen in relationships. Maybe they should go to counseling and you know, see if they can work through it. Now, if she's a habitual cheater, then it's like, oh yeah, you got to chunk up the deuce because you only get one life. We only get one life, so nobody wants to be unhappy.
Your wife needs sex. Your wife wants sex, and if you're not giving it to her,
But you saying, but 2 weeks is like, that's not that long.
clearly she needs sex. Clearly, like if she couldn't wait for her husband,
But-
then clearly I'm not.
Well, first of all, she
not
should have
saying
came.
cheating is right.
Yeah, she should have came to him first and been like, yo, like,
And she may have. And he may have ignored it because he said what you said. We got kids, we got jobs, we got priorities. No, honestly, she may have said it.
Yeah.
And he may have ignored her needs. Takes a lot for a woman to cheat.
it does.
Takes a lot.
Yeah.
So you may not have been listening to her, sir. Again, cheating is not right. If you get to a point that you feel like you got to cheat, pull your partner to the side and be like, baby, I need some dick. Like, what's the problem? I need some passion. I need some love. Where is my
So after
husband?
12 years, should they hang it up if he finds out she is cheating?
No, I think they should work on it. I think that they should
Okay.
have a real conversation. What are her needs? What are his needs? As your wife, how can I make you more comfortable to want to be intimate with me and vice versa?
Right.
It's got to be something.
what
'cause
if
he's
it was
definitely- You say he hasn't ejaculated at all in 2 weeks? Like, you don't think that he maybe
It's not that long.
pleasured himself?
A man can go 2 weeks. I can go about 2 weeks is my limit.
And you?
I can go 2 weeks.
BT, what are your thoughts, sir? Please
How long
talk
can
on
you
the-
go? 1 or
please,
2 weeks?
Please speak it to the mic, sir.
1 or 2 weeks for you.
I can go 2 weeks.
The
I
longest.
can't go long. I
can go 2 weeks.
Yeah, I can go 2 weeks.
I think women, y'all really just the
Is she cheating on him, BT? Yes or no?
You said what?
Is she cheating on him?
She
Yes or
definitely cheating on him. Somebody definitely push that box back. That's all I'm gonna say. If I was him and I get a text message that that's the best sex ever, guys, whatever guns is in the house, you might not want to come back because I'm about to be standing outside like, where he at?
What if she had sex with a woman?
Bring her to the house. You ain't gotta hide that, baby. You gonna put the kids to sleep. You tell your little friend to come home and tie her ass up too.
That's terrible.
I'm with BT on that.
That's terrible.
Bring your friend on. You ain't gotta hide that, baby.
So it takes for her to go.
I doubt it was a woman that she had the best
I doubt
sex,
it was a woman too.
that she had the best sex ever with.
So,
But so basically, the question he's asking is,
what do we think?
He's just asking if she. He not asking us if he need to leave her or none of that.
No.
He's
I
just
don't think
She
he's gonna
is
leave.
cheating.
Yeah.
But
She is cheating.
His insecurities has spiked.
Man, listen. Women.
like her.
First of all, women don't make mistakes like that, sending the wrong text message. That's what dudes we do.
Yeah, we do
shit
dumb
like
shit
that.
like that.
That's careless on
We
her
do dumb
end.
shit like that.
Or she might have wanted him to. She might have wanted him to investigate, go into it.
Pure
That is.
evil.
And then have toxic sex.
Evil.
Okay.
They got a TV show about that too on Netflix.
Cool. Time for us
These
to
hoes
get
be toxic.
What's it called?
Sex life.
Okay,
need
BT.
to watch
Time for us to get up out of here.
These hoes be toxic.
Can you give
They
us some
don't wanna
shout outs?
get-
Go ahead and start. Go ahead and start down there.
Women like that toxic
These
shit.
hoes be
sometimes.
toxic. That's why people like Brent Fireass is lit, because these hoes want to hear that toxic shit.
They like starting fights, so you get mad at them and
Choke 'em.
them out and fuck them while you choking them and shit. So come on, you know.
You act like
Don't act like you ain't never. Don't act like you ain't never tried to make a nigga mad, so he grip you the fuck up and say, "I'm fuck the shit out you." You know you like that shit.
I didn't know you had to make a nigga mad for that. I thought you could just ask for it. I didn't know.
Okay, time for us to get up out of
You
here.
had to make a mad.
Thank you, DJ Drama, for coming.
It's a pleasure.
Give us some shout outs, sir.
Shout to y'all, man. Shout to y'all for, holding the Baller Alert podcast down, for doing y'all things as a unit and individually. I know all of y'all very well, and you're all doing your thing in your respective careers, and I'm very proud of y'all.
Appreciate
you. Sky's not the limit. Sky's what you just stand on and reach to beyond. And this is our first time really interacting, but the same as well. And
OCT.
I just I salute to y'all, man. Thanks for having me.
We appreciate that. It's definitely a tough week, a tough day for
Absolutely.
hip hop. We have lost yet another young man, had not even seen the age of 30. I don't want to get emotional. Y'all know I'm a crybaby. Definitely been praying for the Migos and their families all day. This is tough. Praying for DeVito, who lost his 3-year-old child, just celebrated their 3rd birthday. So it's an honor to have DJ Drama here and give you your flowers in the flesh.
I appreciate that.
Thank you for doing what you do and for
Thank
supporting us. And please go vote. Go vote, go vote, go vote. And tune in to the Baller Alert Show podcast, available wherever you get your podcast.
I do want to say, rest in peace to Takeoff for sure. If anything, dedicate this to him. It's definitely a tough day, and another cloud over the city. You know what I'm saying? Take was, I knew him since he was 18, 19. Great kid, so he will be missed, and we definitely will keep his legacy alive.
Yeah, man, I just want to shout out you, Drama, for coming through. We know you extremely busy, and we appreciate you coming in, rocking with us.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, and I'm just shout out to you, Drama. So, again, I don't want to say I've tailored my entire how you articulate yourself, how you carry yourself, but I look to you as a motivational purpose, because very, very seldom, because my parents didn't understand what I was trying to do. So I was like, I want to be a DJ. I want to be on the radio. They didn't understand that. And I didn't really have anybody to look towards to kind of say, that's who I want to be like. And that, in my case, that was you.
Wow.
You, DJ Holiday,
Wow.
Scream. And I saw your guys' template. You guys kind of had a template, even Cannon. And so I just appreciate our friendship.
Absolutely.
I talk to you often. We play pool. We play iPhone pool in a minute. But
I think I was busting your ass like too much.
Damn.
Yeah, because I went on a run. You remember that run, right?
Yeah.
You remember that, right?
We'll run it back.
Yeah.
We'll run it
I went
back.
on a hell of a run on them.
But I appreciate it. It's so
sure.
funny because people don't think that we talk as often as we do, but we actually talk pretty often.
Pretty often.
And I appreciate you just for your friendship because you have no idea how much that motivates me. Just a normal conversation. Appreciate
And that means a lot to me, bro. Just to hear stories like that. I know me coming up.
Because I tell you all my accomplishments when I get them. Every time I do something big, I hit you.
And I love to hear it too. And it's like, for me to be inspiration to someone, and I'm someone that loves to give flowers and to pay homage to people. So like, for you to look at me for that, like that's part of the greatest gift of what I do, to think that, damn, somebody like wanted to become a DJ because of what I was doing. You know what I'm saying? So, salute to you too.
Salute. OCT?
Yes, I would definitely say your story is legendary. Like,
Thank
just
you.
researching it, I'm just like, I'm a student of the game, so I love documentaries, and I can't wait when yours come out,
Go look.
because I want to know about the drama Philly. I want to know about the hip hop back then, all the way up until now.
For sure.
It's just amazing, and I just want to say we appreciate you. And lastly, we have a word from our ballers. Today you are our baller, and it's just an inspiration. Speak to anybody coming up, just like a Ferrari said, in your footsteps or anything like that you can give.
I tell people this all the time, like, for anybody that's coming in the game or wanting to be in the game, a lot of times we aspire to, like, to reach the top or, the highest of the high. But people have to realize, like, hip hop is built out of, like, movements, like organic movements, you know what I mean? And like, now in today's world, it's very easy for someone to try to like DM DJ Drama or DM Young Jeezy and say, yo, I want to do this with you or do that with you. But it's like, look to your left, look to your right. If it wasn't for people like Tip and Jeezy, who were, Coach K lived around the corner from me, like, Jason Jeter, who was T.I.'s manager, got my number off the back of a CD, a mixtape in the barbershop, and brought this young kid through. Like, it's about creating movements. So before you try to, go and DM your favorite artist who's, already a A-lister, like, the people around you are the ones for you to come up with and to make those movements with. And I tell people that all the time. Like, that's out of anything what people respect about our culture and about hip hop more than anything. Prime example, the Migos. Who would have known if they would have known that three family members would create this sound and this style that all of hip hop would go on to mimic and try to do, So there's some niggas from north side of Atlanta, you know what I'm saying, that changed the world, change culture. Yeah, that would be my baller advice.
All right.
Love.
DJ Drama, the BallerAlert Show. Appreciate it.